Hello, everybody. Good evening. This is Chief Meteorologist Andrew Pinero here. Interesting. Okay, I figured more just now because I just looked straight down the barrel. How's everybody doing? Go. Things queued up and ready to go. Awesome. There we go. Delvin, thank you for joining. Raymond, thank you for joining as always. And I see what you're talking about with the AI forecast models. I am the AI. But anyway, welcome. Be a short one tonight. Just a little look at the New Year's Eve forecast for tomorrow. Any thoughts to finish off 2025? Because this is the last live stream of the year because celebrations tomorrow night. Ooh, Delvin, I kind of had a white Christmas. It was patchy white, but there was snow on the ground. There was also some grass showing because it melted mostly away by then. So it was a 50-50 white Christmas. Historically, in the tri-state region at least, white Christmases are not common. So I wasn't expecting anything too much more out of that. So the Friday system, Friday night through Saturday morning, it was interesting. I was actually away visiting, so all I got was that little short video that I put out. But the bulk of the snow. So I was forecasting 48 inches of snow. I got 6. I think I got 6. So around where I am, I was correct. But I was on the lower end. I think the forecast models were more south with the heavier snow, and it ended up being maybe 50 miles north. Which 50 miles in the grand scheme of things is not big, but they were a little bit off. Kind of what happened, I believe it was 2018. Back in 2018, there was a November snowstorm. It was kind of an average snowstorm. I don't think we got about 6 to 8 inches out of it, but it was forecast to be 50 miles east instead of where it actually happened. So that, in combination with November, the snow removal budget wasn't there yet because December 1st starts snow removal budgets. So they didn't want to pay all the overtime to actually do salting and brining and all that stuff. Yes, Delvin, I would say Canada has a higher chance of a white Christmas, specifically if you're in the Arctic Circle part of Canada. Also, cheers for the evening. Now, this is a very interesting drink here. I have concocted it to be a meteorological theme. So, my home bar that I have, the little bar cart that I have renamed the Millibar, and I'll put it in, and maybe make a sign. The Millibar is how I'm spelling it. Copyrighted here first, so no one else can take that. Meteorology, aviation themed bar. Because I feel like meteorology and aviation are adjacent fields of study. So, the Millibar. This one I call the 1016. You're thinking Millibar, 1016 Millibar is a slight high pressure. So you have a nice clear conditions with maybe a single fair weather cloud, which that ice cube in there looks like a single fair weather cloud floating in the clear skies. It's a lemon lime soda and vodka. So cheers, everybody. You like the name? I guess, Delvin, I do agree with that. Unless you go non-urban or non-major cities, a city of maybe 1,000 people. But for major cities with a million plus, yeah, got a few far between. Which Canada does have the higher chance, but it's still not there. Oh, also, what I figured out with my camera, my last video that I used this camera for was the one outside when I was showing the end of the snowstorm. I left an ND filter on this camera, and I was trying to figure out why do I need to change so much for it. So, I am going to keep audio going, but I'm going to fix that right now, remove that, because it looks like a little extra shiny on my head. So I will be right back as I'm changing that. Okay, I am back. Here we go. It may not look that different, but now I know it's working. Reason being, if you know camera stuff, for some reason, usually I run this at ISO of 500 with the typical ratio for video that you want. So if I'm streaming or like recording and broadcasting, I don't think I started recording either. Oh man, it's been a while. I missed the things. I just started my local recording right at this moment. At least it's still earlier that I caught it. There we go. Cool. And that's blind again. I want to do that. And the YouTube interface UI changed a bit, so I had to learn that. But essentially, I usually do, it's the reciprocal rule. So you want double the shutter speed of the frame rate. So if I'm doing 1080p, 60 FPS, I want a shutter speed of 1/120th. There is no 1/120th on the camera, so it's 1/125th, so it's the closest that it could be. But I had to actually drop it down to double the amount of light coming through by having the shutter speed to 160. So it creates some weird artifacting that doesn't seem natural. Also, I had to drive the ISO up quite a bit to 2000 ISO. I couldn't figure out why. Now I know. I left the ND filter on. So now I dropped the ISO from 2000 to 500. So that means a much cleaner image. And the shutter speed's back up to 1/125th. So that means everything's back to normal. All right, so did the models handle the icing event Sunday night into Monday well or not? I would say decent. Wasn't spot on, I think we had just a little bit on top. That was really all I was seeing. I wasn't seeing like a tenth of an inch or anything. It was just some freezing on top, like a coating of ice. That's about it. I had that pretty well. I didn't see anything else that was too far off the forecast models. And what was the biggest nor'easter weather event of the year? I don't think we have one, right? We only have one, maybe two, like nor'easters. One of which was in the warmer months, so it wasn't even like a snow nor'easter. I think I was doing a live for that too. All right. Let me get these models and stuff ready. Our show is stacked. We're just gonna do the weather. We're not really gonna do no gaming tonight because it's late already. Even though I'm back to normal hours at work, which is kind of where the vacation came from. Because I had to get up at 4:30 in the morning for a lot of the days and 5:30 in the morning because where I worked opened earlier for holidays. Tomorrow we're opening normal time. Closing early, but opening normal time. So that's why I did this tonight. Although I kind of forgot it was Tuesday because my schedule's been way off and I started too late. All right, transitioning on over here. Cool. Raymond, yes, I did notice that. Because also, I brought up just when I was scanning through my show stack here. We could start with that too, the drought monitor. So, for us, we actually have some decent areas. So, D0, abnormally dry. D1's a moderate drought. And D2, right there in parts of New Jersey and Pennsylvania, is a severe drought. But look at it going west, going into Ohio. And then, like you said, in Atlanta, very dry. That's in this D3. And what was the official wording for the extreme D3 and exceptional is D4? So extreme drought in a lot of these areas. So that's where, yes, I will say the red flag warnings are warranted. Also, just the wind, too. If we take a look at the surface analysis here, even though the windiest part of the system is gone, the pressure gradient is still strong throughout a lot of the eastern half of the U.S. So when I was watching this first system, it was in the Midwest, and then over the Great Lakes, there was really nothing happening at that moment. And then there was the last system that gave about 7 inches of snow by me. So this was kind of in between, and because it was so tight in between these two low pressure systems, that's where that pressure gradient really came up and caused all the windy conditions. Gusts over 50 miles per hour. So that in combination with the dry conditions would cause red flag warnings. What else do we got here? What I do want to say, because the New York City ball drop is the biggest one in this area, so we'll spend a little time talking about that and the forecast for tomorrow. So a light snow potential on New Year's Eve. A wave of low pressure along a cold front will result in light snow Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. Light snow showers and flurries possible 9 p.m. to midnight, with more widespread light snow through sunrise Thursday, especially across eastern Long Island and southeast Connecticut. The east end of Long Island and southeast Connecticut could see 1 to 2 inches of snow. So zoom in a little here. It is a little bit blurry on here, but look at this. So going into a bit more New England. So eastern Suffolk County, 1 inch. West Hampton, Montauk, 1.6 inches. Again, this is just a prediction from the National Weather Service. But through this part, can see a bit more snow. Now, around New York City, which is right there, half an inch, so not a lot. So that's what we're expecting there. And where is the weather right now? So we did show surface analysis. It's very weak, it looks like, because there's no real low pressure associated with this directly. Maybe there's one in here. No, that's all just the same stationary front. So cold front from that low that passed already. That's what's bringing in still the windy conditions, colder weather. Because we are definitely below average according to the climate data. Low pressure going into, let's see where we are. North Dakota, kind of right around there, 1017. It's not a strong low pressure, but compared to a 1027 millibar high, it is. That's what's going on out there on the satellite. I also kind of notice a lot of this waviness here. So clear, it looks like it's clear over Boston area there. Albany, you'd start to see some clouds, and all these look like low-level clouds, at least for now. This waviness is a gravity wave. Think of it like ripples in a pond. It's buoyancy because that air and air is a fluid. So you have buoyancy. So you have this, like if you think of one point, that could be the 500 millibar line, let's just pick, that will float and ripple up and down along that line. That's what creates these gravity waves. I see. I'm just reading your comments there. So the last 3 weeks, yeah, definitely were cold. So Alberta, central Alberta is out of freezing. It's 27 degrees where I am right now. Ottawa's much colder than Edmonton. Deep below freezing. Yeah, so I am below freezing, but not deep below freezing. And can gravity waves be a trigger for severe thunderstorms in the spring and summer? And the answer is yes, because that is kind of cyclogenesis itself. You have very laminar flow, if you think of it as in terms of water or fluid. Then something causes little ripples, and then the ripples grow and then create a wave, and that wave creates then a cold front and a warm front. So, yes, they do start out like that, just those little gravity waves that then grow, but something needs to amplify it. Got a little bit like this, and nothing's there to actually amplify it. It's not going to go anywhere, but you need that as kind of like the starting point. On the radar here, nothing too much. A lot of these are just little flurries. Now taking a peek at the good old tropical tidbits. I went through some of these before, and it was interesting to also just take a look at. High pressure gradient still. Went through Wednesday morning. Nothing really happening until this, and this may be part of that. So like I was saying, you need something to push those gravity waves. Lots of lake effect snow and snow showers, yes. That could be part of what is pushing, because you have some little bit of convection, and that pushes here. Not really convection. It's just a nucleation point, kind of. Something that triggers it. You got the gravity waves, and then that triggers it. So this is a wave created from that. It's not a lot. And the GFS here doesn't do a good job because, well, not really it does a good job, but it's just the way it's set up. We have from 12 to 18Z. We have 6-hour jumps. And honestly, that's too big of a jump for this event. We need more fine detail. But the one thing I will show you on here, kind of from the last one I was doing, so we're looking at the 850 millibar vorticity here. We roll back here. Oop, too far. So it doesn't look like anything's happening here. And then right there, we get some jet streaks. This is through the morning. So usually the precipitation is out ahead of some of these jet streaks as it's tilted westward. So that's at the 850 level. And then if we go to the 500 millibar level, there we are. Now this is coming in right at 12Z. But you notice it's not that tilted. So that is 500 and this is 850. It's almost vertically stacked. That means there's not a lot happening. There's not a lot of convective potential essentially with this. So it's going to be very light. But what you also will notice, if I go back to the 500, there's a lot of jet streaks happening here. So this stays, and that kind of just, a new pulse comes in, then it goes back up, then a new pulse comes in just a bit more north. Well, there's a lot of pulses along the 500 millibar level there. When was that, Raymond? The quick 1 to 2. All right, so the Euro will have a little bit more because we go from, say, 3 hours now. So 15Z to 18Z. Still high pressure gradient. Here comes that system. Right over there. A little bit of flurries ahead of it. And there's a little bit right here. That's 9Z Thursday. So this is after midnight. And you see it really starts to develop a little bit more over here going into Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. That's probably why Eastern Long Island through Boston, anything in there, had a little bit of a higher amount of snow. You know, that was only a couple hours ago. All right, so that's what the Euro's showing. And kind of the same thing if we switch to the 850. So let's go 12Z Thursday. So there's that. We switch to the 500. It's right on top of each other. So not tilted. It's a vertically stacked kind of setup. Let me switch this back over here. And then positive snow depth change we will get to just a little bit. Stay tuned. All right, so the icon here. Little flurries, little lake effect, high pressure gradient. Not a high pressure gradient, but a high pressure gradient. So here, 3Z to 6Z. A little bit of snow showers coming in. I don't know why. There we go. So a little burst of some snow. That's what we could see there. 12 kilometer. We rewind. There we go. Lake effect snow, snow flurries. And in comes that little pulse of energy. A little bit there, but then it starts developing here. Ignore this jump because the NAM is every hour is one frame until 6 hours, until 36 hours. After 36 hours out, it goes from one frame is 1 hour to then it goes every 3 hours, it looks like. We get a little bit more of a jump, but you see once that impulse gets over the ocean, it looks like it amplifies just a little bit. So that's where you can get a little bit more snow coming out of Eastern Long Island through Boston there. So that's the setup there. 3 kilometer NAM, even more higher resolution now. You see a little bit more streakiness. We're still seeing that. Here comes the impulse, a little bit to start. Then it blossoms really over the ocean there. And that's where there's be a bit more heavier snow going into Thursday morning, maybe like pre-dawn hours. And then the last one I'll show you is the HRRR. So here, actually, let's see if refresh this and see if the 0Z came in. The 0Z was, here we go, 0Z run. Not fully available, but it might be enough. 0Z run. This is just coming in now. There's those little pulses of flurries. There we go. Now it starts to blossom. So it looks like light snow, and then it develops here. You get a little bit more heavy snow. I have not seen a 13 or 14 hour long snow squall warning. Because usually snow squalls are quick. Where have you seen one? All right, so it doesn't go out as far because it's the shortest range, highest resolution. But it still kind of shows a little bit more development happening once it gets east of the Twin Forks, going kind of towards the Boston area. Excuse me, that's kind of like right in the target right there. Oh, interesting. Also, this is interesting that the frames aren't popping in order. We go from hour 34 to 36, 37, 39. It's skipping the. No, it's not skipping. It's going every other. No, it's not going every other too. I don't know. It's kind of random. All right, so that's what we're seeing on the models. Now, let's take a look at some total positive snow depth. All right, here we go. That's Wednesday, so we're going to just see this is actually accumulating quite a bit in some of these areas. A little streakiness there. But then overnight, here we go, and then we're done. Coating the one in a lot of areas around New York City, so it actually might have a nice little effect for some snow flurries or snow showers happening at the double ball drop. Did you know that, either of you? Did you see that the ball's going to drop twice in New York City? Once to mark the new year at midnight, then I think it's 12:04 a.m. They're going to bring the ball back up and drop it again for the marking of the 250th anniversary of the country. Yes. Oh, interesting. Yes, we can take a quick peek at that. All right, so that is the HRRR. Go back to here. Let's go back to these. And now let's take a look at the GFS, total positive snow depth. All right, so by the end of the day, Thursday, it's actually not, because it's more of a gap. It's not really picking up the higher intensity, especially over Long Island, so I don't think this is right. I don't think the GFS is not high resolution enough for this. Now for the, switch that back over here. For the Euro, oh yes, we got to go to our good old pivotal weather. Did I have it up? At the end I did. Okay, cool. I did pre-load it. This is weird because when I'm just moving the mouse to scroll up and down, it changes. So we need, too far out. 3 here. All right, so this is the picture from the Euro. It's picking up a little bit more, which is correct here. So it's showing 5 inches of snow there in the ocean. It might be right along here. Maybe that line might come in a bit more. Or maybe 1 to 3 inches of snow you'd see about here. But they're not. It's not showing anything. It's showing 1 inch just around the Twin Forks there. Nothing where here was saying. Actually, it is saying about 1 inch. But I think it's a little bit just too far east. But this is kind of what that's saying. Now, there's the Euro on the icon. Total snowfall, this is the, not the positive snow depth. Keep that in mind. It's also the true ratio. So it's not assuming just a 10-to-1 ratio. And yep, that was it. It's not picking up on that little bit. Actually, it is. It's just cutting it off at the ocean. But it is showing a little bit more. Getting near Boston there. Just kind of picking that up. And then the NAM, 12-kilometer, total positive snow depth. And by the end of the day on Thursday, that's it. This could be a combination of some lake effect snow, but we did see a little bit more streakiness happening there. Nothing too much here. So honestly, I think the most accurate map is none of these, but this. Let's see if we can go up northeast a little bit. All right, so now we're in Boston. Do they do the same thing? No, they don't have anything there. Oh, this is just from today. Oh, they have multiple. Strong damaging winds today. Light snow. Here we go. So this is for you, Delvin, in the Boston area. Nope, I can't expand that. Nantucket, 3 to 4 inches of snow. Block Island, 1 to 2. Plymouth, 1 to 2. Providence, a lot of 1 to 2s around here. Boston, 1 to 2. Worcester is also in the 1 to 2. Up there's a little bit more. Yeah, especially in the blue. That's the 4 inches up there. Delvin, is that the closest city to New Year's right now? All right, so that's from the Boston area. Now we'll go visit winter weather advisories as well. That's expected. Now, go a bit more west to Albany. Weather story. Lake effect snowfall right now is showing. Whoa. Is that what they were forecasting? 12 to 18 inches in Syracuse? Wow. And this is through 7 a.m. Wednesday. Yeah, so this is the forecast. So it's still happening right now. Wow. Okay. And then get all back to New York City. There's nothing else, no other stories besides it looks like this one. All right, let me refill my drink. And we'll spend just a little time chatting, and then that will be it for the stream. So I will be right back, everybody. All right, I am back. Bada boom and a bada bing. Catching up on your comments there. So, Auckland, 2 hours ahead of Sydney, 3 hours ahead of Brisbane. Auckland. Oh, down there in the southern regions. Good eye. I don't know if that's a good Aussie accent. Wonder what is National Weather Service Buffalo is forecast. New York. Take a quick peek here. See if I can pull that up. Buffalo. All right, let's see. The National Weather Service Buffalo is forecasting for Buffalo, New York will take effect. So it says for tonight, less than 1 inch of snow. And then forecast for Wednesday, 1 to 2 inches. Oh, it's very close. Here, let me show you. Let me switch back to the forecast snowfall for tonight. Okay, so this is for tonight. There's Buffalo right there. Less than 1 inch. Dunkirk down to Ripley and Jamestown. That's the core right there. 4 to 6 inches. Then we go up here to forecast snowfall Wednesday. Forecast snowfall. Bada bing. 8 to 12 in the core right there. Buffalo's just out of it. Buffalo's only 1 to 2. But it's close enough that this 8 to 12 could go over Buffalo. Quite interesting there. All right. So as we close this out, just wanted to chat with you all. What do you think of 2025? Was it a good year? Bad year? Meh year? Average year? Forgettable year? What do you think? Oh, yes. Let me take a peek at that too. That it's on radar scope. I see. Well, so snow squall warning for 3 hours remaining is Toronto. What some of these others are. 13 hours and 50. Ow. Yes. That is unusual. Pull this up here. Oh wow, the radars are different. All right. Here are the two radars. Canada SET. I guess that's what the CA is. There's one, and here's the other. Maybe. A little slow to load. Streak right over the radar station there. It's not seeing any of this other one, but then there's more streaks right here. And then I clicked in. Let me turn off the radar station mode. There we go. Snow squall warning. 13 hours, 57 minutes. That is incredible. Oh, Canada. Yes, it is, Raymond. All right, so Raymond, how was your 2025? As we count down to, we got 24, there's 9, 27 hours left of 2025. That is, it's honestly interesting to think that the whole year went by already. Because the beginning of 2025 for me, January and February, really were not the beginning of 2025 for me. It was the finish of 2024. What I mean by that, last year in September, for Apple or work, I got pulled out to go to California for a special project. So, September, October, November, I was in California, if you remember that time. And then December, I was back. But I also had a weird thing where I had like basically traveling every month for 5 months straight. So September, I had my flight to go cross country from New Jersey to California. So I went from Newark, New Jersey to San Francisco. October, the third week of October, Disney trip. So that was with Meg and some friends from work. So there was 5 of us with 3 kids. Yes. 5, 6, 7, 8. 6 or 9. I think there was 9 total of us. All just friends with our kids. So we went to Disney in October. So then after Disney, so I basically went from New Jersey to California, California to Florida for October, then Florida back to California, still in October. Then November, the end of it, I went from California back to New Jersey. December, I went from New York to Florida for my normal December Disney trip. Then January was back to Disney. So from New York to Florida for Disney for a few days, and then the cruise from Florida to Mexico. Mexico for a day, and then back to Florida, then Florida back to New York. That was January. Then February for Meg's birthday, we went from New York back down to Disney. So I got quite a use out of my annual pass that year. So that's why I chose the annual pass. That was through February. So all of that time period from September through February all felt like it was part of the same year to me. So 2025 really didn't start till March for me. So it's quite an interesting thing to think about 2025. Nothing major happened. Nothing bad really happened. Almost something bad, but it definitely got better. But it was kind of just an average year for me. Yes, Raymond, I see. You might as well just issue a winter storm warning or advisory at that. Yes, I would agree with that. Edmonton is 2 hours behind Ottawa, so when it's 2 a.m. in Ottawa, Edmonton will reach midnight. So Raymond Delvin, what about you? How was your 2025? Any thoughts you had? Otherwise, I'm trying to think. Favorite purchases I've had this year. So besides what I can't talk about, what I can talk about, I have right on my desk, which I always enjoy. Saber. This was ordered on May the 4th. I don't have the blade in. This is a solid lightsaber. This is the densest lightsaber I've ever felt. It's solid brass. It's polished brass all over, and then this is like a nickel plating to get it silver. So this is all, and then the darker versus the lighter color, so like the more coppery color versus the yellow color is just different concentrations to get brass, because brass is copper. It's just copper with different additives in it. So the yellow brass is what you think of as brass in like a trumpet, a trombone, brass instruments like that. Also, for guns with bullets, the whole cartridge is the bullet plus the shell casing. The shell casing's brass. So that's that color. But yeah, this is probably my favorite purchase of the year. Is it feels solid, like it's actually real. And it's also so shiny, like a piece of jewelry. I like to have it displayed right there. I'm trying to think other things I can think of that are a little sad. The Harley Davidson dealer that I got my Livewire fund from went under. When I was there, it was there was a lot of gatherings every week, which was great. A lot of community building, which I really loved. But I would only see, I mean, it's not a lot, but they would sell 1 or 3 motorcycles a day. Which, when you think of a car dealership, they're selling 1 to 3 cars an hour. So if you're only selling 1 to 3 motorcycles a day, that's not very sustainable, and that's kind of what's happening to Harley Davidson right now. I don't know if there could be a new CEO, but maybe some leadership has to change with Harley Davidson. No? Any thoughts for either of you? I wanted to go an hour, so we are 2.5 minutes away from an hour. What do you guys think also of the Millibar bar cart? No, I don't intend on opening a bar. This is just a little fun thing for a home bar. I do have a menu, too. Let me pull up the menu of drinks that I actually workshopped with ChatGPT, so there is some AI involved. The Millibar drinks. See, where did I have it? Okay. So the one I'm drinking tonight was the first one of the menu. The 1016. Clear and stable. Tito's vodka topped with lemon lime soda and fresh citrus. Bright, clean, and uncomplicated. Fair weather under high pressure. The low level jet. Fast moving and smooth. Jack Daniels and Grand Marnier layered with cherry Coke. Warm, sweet, and deceptively strong. a concentrated stream just above the surface. Low level jet. The supercell. Unstable conditions present. Dragonberry rum topped with lemon lime soda. Sweet, green hued, and energetic. Well, not really lemon lime soda. It's literally Mountain Dew. But Mountain Dew is green colored lemon lime soda. So it's Dragonberry rum topped with Mountain Dew. You may have seen me have it before, which is, I called it Mountain Brew, which I'm still keeping as the Halloween variant of that. The Dew Point, you've also seen in the copper mule mug I have. The Dew Point, because it's literally a science reference to the formation of dew as condensation on the outside of the copper. So the Dew Point, humidity on the rise. Hendrick's gin with lemon lime soda, fresh citrus, served over ice in a copper mule mug, crisp, refreshing, and saturated. Condensation guaranteed. We have air quality alert. Now, I called this originally the Orange Haze, which was then turned into the Canadian Sunset. Now it's air quality alert. Reduced visibility due to smoke. Dragonberry rum, orange soda, and cherries with a smoky finish of chipotle chili powder. A vivid orange pour with a subtle tickle on the throat. Air quality degraded. Sensitive groups may notice irritation. Which is true for the drink. If you're sensitive to spiciness, there's a little kick at the back of the throat there. Winter weather advisory, as we talked about winter weather advisories. Cold conditions with warming notes. Amaretto, tampered with Jack Daniels, served over a large ice cube and finished with citrus oils. Smooth, warming, and quietly impactful. So basically, it's amaretto with half an ounce of Jack Daniels to give a little bit of like vanilla-y flavor, and it's a more full. Now, the amaretto by itself, I call First Snowfall. Seasonal calm. Amaretto served over over large ice cube with a gentle expression of an orange peel, soft, warming almond notes, quiet as the season's first snowfall. Then we have Snow Day. Winter comfort, hot chocolate, peppermint schnapps, and whipped cream. Rich hot chocolate spiked with peppermint schnapps and topped with whipped cream, cozy, sweet, and deceptively smooth. The Anti-Cyclone. Old-fashioned style. Jack Daniels stirred with aromatic syrup in an old-fashioned build. Balanced, warming, and stable. Fair conditions in a glass. And then the holiday version of that was called Holiday High. We have Roz Punch, which you might have noticed from last year in 2024 when we had the solar eclipse. The eclipse commemorative drink. Dragonberry rum blended with strawberry margarita mix for a bold, glowing punch inspired by the 2024 solar eclipse. And that's it for now. All right. Well, that is it for this year. Hope you all enjoyed. I know I tried to get a little bit more back into YouTube, the good old like 2018, 2019 time frame. That was a really good time for this channel because I was part-time at Apple and I was part-time on the news. So during the middle of the week, I was basically working full-time, but it was concentrated on the weekends. So during the week, Monday through Friday, I would only work, so that was 16. I would only work 12 hours Monday through Friday. 12 to 15 hours Monday through Friday. So I had a lot of time to do weather videos. Almost every day I did a weather update. I would do weather podcasts on Wednesday, and sometimes I did live streams on Tuesday as well. Had a lot of time. I don't think I'm ever going to get back to that because now I have the full-time job, so the 40 hours a week spread over Monday through Saturday. Not Sunday. I hope 2026, I can continue to try and get back to the way things were. A little bit more regularity with the channel. New stuff with continuing the electric vehicle conversations. New things with that. more live wire motorcycle stuff too. I know that neither of you really like are into that, but I do get a lot of views, especially with shorts on that. Otherwise, more regular live streams and more weather updates. If we have any solar eclipse, I'd love to do that again. That was a really fun stream. But that looks like it will be it for this stream and it for this year. So Raymond, Delvin, cheers to you. Anybody watching that's new, feel free to join us on this journey. Feel free to hit that subscribe button below, little bell icon right next to that so you get notified when I upload videos like this, or I go live like this and upload videos. Besides that, gaming, we'll try and get more gaming in as well. Usually I would have done gaming on this, but I just wanted to be kind of like a chill, kind of talkative one. And that's it. That's it for the lives for 2025. I might do a little New Year's special video tomorrow, but no guarantees on that. So this may be the last video of 2025. We shall see. Otherwise, just, little New Year's celebration, something like that, like I did for Christmas. It was a pleasure, as always. This is Chief Meteorologist Andrew Pinero signing off. For live, at least, for 2025. I will see you all next year.